Hello, my name is Alexis Bruce. This is my presentation on depression for EXS 486. What is depression? Clinical exercise physiology defines depression as a term often used to varying levels of psychological distress, ranging from a dysmorphic state to a diagnosis of a clinical disorder. Depression studies and surveys often focus on either major depressive episodes or major depression disorder. Major depressive episodes include are included as a part of a bipolar disorder, whereas major depression disorder is looked at without by excluding bipolar disorder and is a disorder all on its own. The prevalence. Depression is a common clinical condition that affects 120 million people worldwide. Depression is a commonly occurring, serious, recurrent disorder linked to the diminished role, functioning, and quality of life. It is an important cause of morbidity and mortality. Depression produces a greater decrement in health than chronic disease such as arthritis, diabetes, and angina. The World Health Organization has ranked depression as the fourth leading cause of disability worldwide. The World Health Organization also believes that by 2020, it will be the second leading cause of disability. These are just a few illustrations of some causes and as well as how often people feel these feelings of depression and anxiety in a short period of time. The pathophysiology of depression. Depression is widely viewed as an interaction between genetics and environment. Both neurochemical and psychosocial variables have been implicated as contributing to the pathophysiology of depression. This is just an illustration of the mechanism of depression and the way that it's supposed to regularly function, as opposed to how it functions during depression, and what treatment is supposed to target and treat. Three main neurotransmitter systems have been theorized to play a significant role on the onset of and maintenance of depression. They are norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. These theories of neurotransmitter dysregulation are seen in the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis and this has been implicated in the pathophysiology of depression. The hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis is a marker of reaction to stressors. This group can also be referred to the central monoamine theory of depression. Diagnosis. In the United States, psychiatric disorders are currently diagnosed using the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders in the 4th edition. It is also referred to as the DSM-4, and this requires the endorsement of at least 5 conditions that have been present during the same 2-week period in order to diagnose major depression disorder. One has to be either the first or second listed. So either there needs to be depressed mood most of the day, nearly every day, or a significant loss of interest or pleasure in most or all activities. So to diagnose major depressive disorder, the patient has to have either one of those two and 4 more of the following symptoms in the chart of 9. Who is at risk? A study done on the epidemiology of depression across cultures found that almost all community epidemiological studies associated gender, age, and marital status with depression. Women typically have a 2-fold increased risk of depression opposed to men, and individuals who are separated or divorced have a significantly higher rate of major depression compared to those currently married. Also, the prevalence of major depression genuinely goes down with age. The effects of depression on exercise. Many symptoms of major depression disorder work directly against a healthy lifestyle, so those struggling with this diagnosis require monitoring and possibly consultation with the appropriate healthcare provider. People with major depressive disorder experience pervasive, sustained feelings of sadness and hopelessness, persistent loss of interest, enjoyment, and motivation, as well as disruptive sleep and eating patterns, as well as energy levels. So all these things are things that work hand in hand with a healthy lifestyle. So these being decreased or disrupted can really affect exercise and a healthy life. Depression can often co-occur with other chronic illnesses. For example, a clinical exercise physiology must feel comfortable working with a patient who is obese or overweight, but also may show signs of depression. These things can happen together, and it is important for us physiologists to know how to work with both conditions as well as making them work together. Depression has been associated with other pathophysiological processes as well, such as nervous system dysregulation, reduced heart rate variable, increased inflammation, increased platelet activity, and endothelial dysfunction. These are also things that any clinical exercise physiologist would want to know about while working with a patient that has been diagnosed with depression. This is just a little illustration of a few of the symptoms, and you can imagine how these symptoms can affect someone trying to become motivated to achieve a healthy lifestyle. Exercise effects on depression. Exercise has been investigated as an alternative therapy for depression. Exercise may provide a distraction from negative thoughts or enhance efficiency through mastering a new skill. Social contact through exercise can be beneficial and have a positive impact on mood, as well as biological changes in the circulatory endorphins or reduction in the stress hormone cortisol may also play a role. The central monoamine theory suggests that exercise corrects the dysregulation of the central monoamines that lead to depression, which we discussed earlier as the three main hormones that affect depression. So the idea is that once you're exercising, you're getting your blood and moving in more high impact ways, and this will move around the different depletion of different certain hormones. Antidepressant medication. Antidepressant medication is the most widely used treatment for depression. Most depressed patients who seek treatment are treated by primary care practitioners. Patients who present with depression in primary care settings are more likely to be offered medication than psychotherapy or a combination of medication and psychotherapy. Many patients do not respond to or cannot tolerate the effects of antidepressants. Here's just a short list of a few common antidepressants that are used to treat major depression disorder. This is a graph, another illustration showing the long-term impact of exercise versus medication on depression. So as you can see, the bold line shows the recovered, and exercise has the highest percentage of recovered individuals through treating depression with exercise, whereas medication has the lowest amount covered through treatment of depression through medication. The combination of the both, exercise and medication, is a little above the percent shown for just medication. So exercise definitely has a positive impact on depression. A case study done on a patient, Miss MD. She's a 35-year-old woman who joined a medical fitness center in hopes of being able to regain her healthy lifestyle and the love she once had for being healthy and active. Miss MD reveals she has had a divorce a few years ago and is sharing custody of her two children, 7 and 9. She explains that she has recently been diagnosed with depression and within the past year, and feels like her motivation and love for activeness is slipping away. She explains her struggles with completing daily tasks, which she used to enjoy, such as taking her children to the park and going for hikes. She's hoping to find her love for activity again. As a divorced woman, Miss MD is in a high-risk group for depression, but she is taking the correct steps to get her diagnosis under control. She has declined antidepressant medication, but has been going to psychotherapy, and that is what led her to come to the medical fitness center as recommendation from her psychotherapy sessions. Her medical history is clear and insignificant for exercise prescription. Exercise testing. Miss MD completed a routine depression screening to determine if exercise tests would be beneficial. These surveys are just filled out by the patient, and scores are added up to decide what degree of depression they show. Her survey showed she has significant depression and was referred to a pharmacological stress test, opposed to a regular stress test, where results often vary with individuals who are experiencing depression for a few different reasons. Her pharmacological stress test showed healthy blood flow to and from the heart during rest and also during exercising. She did not experience any symptoms during the test and was cleared to begin exercising. The pharmacological stress test is a little less heavy duty. It's more about injecting through the system and watching the way that things are moving through and ensuring that all things through the heart are pumping well. So with her clearance, her exercise prescription will be similar as a healthy individual, but will begin very slow and focus on short-term goals to build up her confidence and comfort with exercising. Since she is coming out of a sedentary state, she should start with light activity, but over time, intensity and duration should increase. Considering her risk group, she should look into group exercises to participate in 3 to 5 times a week. For example, yoga or a light intensity step class where she may find a good support group with individuals with similar goals and interests. So for right now, her frequency would be at 3 to 5 days a week, with intensity being very light and moderate, working about 40% of her heart rate. And up. The type would be walking, biking. I included Zumba because I think these are things that can also be active but make you feel better. These types of activities are also very easy to say try to walk for 7 minutes straight and then increase to 11 minutes with the next walk. And these are small goals that she would be able to complete. The time should only be about 10 to 20 minutes while we start, and then we will increase